So Spencer, as we enter June, I think it'd be good to have a catch up in terms of where we're at the moment. First of all, how's your off season been?
Yeah, really busy as usual. It's probably the most hated time of the year for managers. Never really stops, and it's certainly this off season has had some good moments and some really dark moments, and we've got a long way to go.
Perfect. So let's start then with talking about retained players, released players, etc. Players decided to go elsewhere. What can you tell us in terms of updates with that?
Look, we've got some good stuff. We've got some horrible stuff, I'm afraid. We have to realise where we are. We're almost the victims of our success. I think we're one of the very best clubs at this level for taking lads that come out of pro clubs and getting them deals, full-time deals, Football League deals. So sadly, there is some very sad news that, as I said, is because of our success. So the reality is that, I feel like it's almost like we've been promoted. The division is so exciting. Everyone should be buzzing for what an exciting season the National League South next year is going to be, with such huge clubs, massive games, really exciting. But it's a bit of a rebuild for us, and that's just where we are. I would say now, as we're the end of the first week in June, as much as I've literally not stopped, I think we've got not just so much work to do in the next sort of 8 weeks. We just have to wait. We have to wait. And there'll be a lot of players that aren't going full time or don't get these big money offers. And some of their agents and mums and dads who think they should be waiting for Pep to call or the new Tottenham manager, etc. So we have to wait. There will be plenty of high quality players coming in. We've got some, exciting signings being announced daily. I think we're very strong at the back already. I think that the old cliche of build from the back is there. We're announcing a centre half that I've been after for a long time. A great local left back with great pedigree, and obviously retaining Jack and Ollie and Cooley. These are really strong players to build with. So defensively, we're in a really good place, and defensive midfield. The other area of the park needs an awful lot of work, and obviously it's the hardest part of football. But make no bones about it, we are working really hard. We're speaking to a lot of players. We're going to have to wait into pre-season, I'm sure. We've got some agreed deals, but I want to see them in pre-season. Clearly, we're going to have a lot of trialists, but you see so many clubs have done such a huge amount of business already. And there's only so many places available at these clubs, so there'll be a lot of players available, and it is such an important pre-season this for us, that we try and get as many right as we can. We know where we are. So great players. Look around here. The pitch is phenomenal. Completely relayed. I'm sure it's going to be the best pitch in the league. As I said, we've got a track record of getting players bigger deals, which we're about to talk about. And it's a great place. The club is growing, but it's an almighty challenge. So we have to embrace it. We have to try and enjoy it. It's a really exciting season. So many pluses at the football club, and the way the growth has continued. As I said, it does feel a bit like that we've been promoted with that challenge and a rebuild that we have to do. But that's where we are. And there's many clubs that are be very jealous of the position that we find ourselves in.
So let's reflect quite then on some of the ones that have departed us. Ricky obviously has gone to Chelmsford.
Yeah.
And also it's been recently announced that Reggie is leaving us as well. In terms of that then, what are your thoughts on those players leaving?
I choose my words carefully. I'll deal, for instance, with Reggie. Reggie has been a most fabulous servant for this club. He's been brilliant for me. He said to me he's been on and off 7 years, last 4 years straight, helped us get promotion. I love Reggie Young to death. I'm very grateful for everything he's done. He's a prime example of what happens in the off seasons. Apologies, there should be a warning up before this video. When I use swear words, which is very rare from me, but 95% of players become grade 1 arseholes in pre-season and the off season. They've become very insular, want all about them, which I understand. Reggie's gone to Dagenham, full-time club. I've spent, as have some of my staff, spent many hours keeping him away from Ricky at Chelmsford. We got that through, got a deal agreed. and now he's gone to Dagenham. I'm very disappointed with the last 2 weeks of what's happened. However, I don't want to detract that for more than 2 seconds about what a most brilliant young man and player that Reggie Young has been for us. And, you know, they've doubled his wages, and we can't compete with that. We can't compete with full time. And the reality to it is we are, as I said, where we are. So we wish him every success. I hope maybe one day, and I know he'll say he may be back. So, you know, I'm really sad. I'm disappointed. We've worked so hard to keep him. So he's gone. Lexus Beeden informed me that he was going to Maidstone 2 days ago. We made him an offer. Again, it's full time. Am I surprised? Yes, is what it is. Richard Chin has told me that he's looking at everyone and anyone. That was some time ago. Millers has obviously gone to Hemel. We've got a £30,000 offer from a League One club for him. So we will certainly be receiving some money for Chin, for Millers, and we'll take it to tribunal if we have to. We're working really hard. It's disappointing, but you can only wish these lads all the best. We know what we are. We can't expect to keep those type of players. I've made it very clear at a forum. Farnborough Football Club has got to keep moving forward, and they're trying so hard. I'm so grateful to the directors, the owners. There is so much going on behind the scenes, but it's very slow. And we're not in a place to be able to financially compete with those type of clubs, full-time clubs, and progression for players, you know. So, you know, we will continue to work really hard. The guys off the pitch are doing an incredible job, and they're working really hard with councils and possible other things. We know that we've got to go hybrid and full-time sooner rather than later, and plans are in place for that. But I don't want to detract from, you know, what a great place this club is. And you see the debt that other clubs are in. And, you know, a simple calculation is that I worked out that in the National League South, there's going to be a minimum of £8 million lost by this time next year in players' wages, lost. Because only two sides go up, fellas. And you've got all these clubs spending absolutely staggering sums of money. I've never seen anything like it. And I know it's a cliche, we say it every year, but this year, and it's not even our level. Look at step 3. I mean, some of these clubs, I mean, they are blowing us out the water, double the wages. And only 2 go up. So some very rich people are not going to be so rich by this time next year. And honestly, I'm jealous, but I think it's madness. We're very stable. The club needs to progress. Farnborough Football Club needs to progress, and I know they will. So we're in a good place. Yes, we will do a lot of business during pre-season. We have no choice, quite frankly. But we're strong at the back. We're strong in defensive mid. And we will always fight for players that, you know, want to fight to come and play for us. So, yeah, there's some big disappointments there. Some real fans' favourites, Ricky, but that was always going to happen at some point because of the distance and him going home. As I said, Reggie, we spent so much time, and, you know, thank him so much. And anyone else who leaves, you know, so. But we will get great players in here. You know, I'm speaking to so many pro clubs. Literally on the way here to this interview, I spoke to 2 pro clubs again about players, possible loans. We lost another season-long loan this morning because they didn't realise that his contract had gone up 60% in wages, and they want all his wages covered. But we're speaking to a lot of people, and it's a challenge. It's an exciting challenge. And let's not forget where this club was 10 years ago. And this year we're going to be playing some massive clubs. Really exciting. Look at this place. It's incredible what this club has achieved. And yeah, it's a challenge. And everyone, please be a little bit generous with your time at the moment. With, you know, we're going to have to wait. But make no mistake, we've got some good money still to pay out. But we have to wait, because the honest statement I get from most agents at the moment is, well, we're going to wait and see what happens. We're going to wait and see if so-and-so comes in. We're going to wait and see if we do this. You know, we're going to receive a lot of compensation for a number of these players. That's what we do. So not going to apologise for that. Frustrating me, yeah. Angry, yeah. Disappointed, yeah. But then, you know, we'll get somebody else in, and you see the strength we've already got in Cooley and Robbo and Turner and other lads that are being announced, and Bradshaw coming back in. They're desperate to come and play for the club, and we've got a very exciting addition to the management staff, which I'll come on to, with It's taken me a long time to get Millers in from Hartley Whitney. I've tried to get him here for about 3 years. He's going to come and join the management group, specifically to focus on analysis. We've got the most phenomenal 85-inch screen in the dressing room, which he actually supplied. So he knows it backwards, so he can really assist getting up videos and analysis of other teams as we go through to help at training and during games. So, really pleased for him to get on board. He's done his time at local clubs, very popular. So I'm delighted he's joining us. There may be others to join as well. But as I said, bit of a mixed bag pre-season. It's always hard. It's horrible. It's always sad to say goodbye to great guys. But as I said, we have to most and foremost thank them. We're a community club that's in a fantastic place, and we want to try and look forward positively rather than focus on what clearly is going to disappoint fans. No doubt, it's disappointed me. We've worked so hard. I'm so grateful to directors have found more money when they can, but you just see some of these other budgets, and as I said, it's just jealousy that you just sort of have to almost laugh at it.
So, as you say, let's look forward and let's look at the positives. When this goes out, we'll know that Ben Greenwood has joined us. Tell us about Ben and tell us why you wanted him.
Well, look, Ben was somebody that got very close to Bournemouth's first team. He was very highly respected there only a couple of years ago. Went off to Weymouth. Disappointed, actually, we didn't get a sniff at him, but he did a great deal at Weymouth. A lot of travelling. He's a local boy, only lives in Ash, which is a big plus to me. He's taken a huge pay cut to come to us, and he wants to be here. He's got local following. He's got real ability. He's a dedicated left back, but can push slightly further forward. So he gives us options whether we're a back three or a back four. So look, I think it's a cracking signing. Again, it sums up what I just said earlier in this interview. We have to focus on a lot of young players and players that really want to be here. And this Ben's got a lot of pedigree. He's also now gone and got a lot of games at step 2 under his belt. He'll love this pitch. We have got a couple of loans provisionally agreed with pro clubs that will go forward with players like Ben. And we're also still speaking to experience. I'm reasonably close on one lad with a lot of experience further forward up the pitch. But as I said, at the moment, it is a waiting game for us. We lost another one this morning, which was very disappointing. But it is what it is. So, really, it sums it up perfectly that a young lad is coming here, is really buzzing to be here, grateful to his family. And, we're looking forward to seeing him in the new Borough shirts.
Perfect, yeah. I think the Borough shirts for the Farnborough fans are being shown on Friday, so that's something.
Well, personally, I think they're great. I haven't seen them in the flesh, but when I was asked my opinion, I thought it was a great choice. So, won't be for everyone. It's borderline a little bit Marmite, but I think it's a tiny bit different, but gives it that edge.
So in terms of, let's look forward to pre-season as well. So pre-season friendly, some cracking games in there. We've got Portsmouth, Southampton 11, Charlton Athletic 11 and Eastleigh all coming down here. Plus we've got some away fixtures to lower level opposition. What are your thoughts on the fixtures as a whole?
Well, certainly at the start, there's going to be a lot of trialists. I know it's sort of the laughing joke. We have to have them. We've got some that excite me. We've got some that have got a lot to prove. If any agents are watching this, certainly in the attacking areas of the pitch, we're still got plenty of opportunity. And that's a key word we offer here at Farnborough, opportunity to come in and get a new deal somewhere else in the future. So to progress your career. It could be difficult. There's no doubt about it. Nobody really enjoys pre-season. That's the early part of it. But then what a game on the 16th. Portsmouth, I'm sure it'll be talked about many times. It's full first team. That's the agreement. They're playing full first team in the 2 back-to-back games, which they've done before. So they'll play in both games. We're hoping for as close to a sellout or more as if it's possible. We're going to be very grateful and positive with the Portsmouth fans, how it's going to be used, the stadium. So it's a case of get your tickets. To play a championship side here is fantastic, full first team. I'm very grateful to everybody at Portsmouth and their fans for coming, and we're certainly going to look after them. It's not far away, so hopefully more and more tickets get sold. I know they're selling really well, so it's a fantastic game. Arguably, probably the biggest friendly we've had since I've been here. And we've also got some great games. Charlton 11s. We've got Eastleigh's full first team. We've got Southampton 11. Really exciting games. They're going to be challenging, but all that really counts is when we get into the end of the first week in August. So it's great for the club to be seen. Many thanks to everyone who's been involved with the pitch. To take up the whole pitch is incredible, and it really is very much appreciated by everybody and me in the dressing room. And this is a great place. So some great pre-season games before we get into the real stuff.
So in summary then, if we just look back to what you've said, you've kind of said the fact that this might be a season of change in terms of a lot of personnel leaving and coming back in. But we do know the fact that in the past we've had massive loads of change. We got promoted that season. So we never say never in terms of what's going to happen. What is your message to the fans going forward?
Right now, in the first week in June, it's please be patient. I know 99% of you know the situation. We're in a great place. Please look at the bigger picture. Just look around when you come in. We're in a great place. It's challenging. It's exciting. We're all trying to move forward. I just want to win football games. We're going to have to be patient. But we've got a lot of strength. It's a difficult world out there. We want to put smiles on your faces. We're working ever so hard. We'll get there. It's as I said, it's going to be tough, but we're going to get there. And it's very, very early days. And as I said, but you look at all these clubs signing players, they can't take everybody. So we can be really positive about the work that we're doing, not making sure that the club is, in a terrible financial position. So, try and enjoy your summer. I know you'd all like to know more, but I was desperately trying to hold back of not just giving bad news. I want to be able to give good news. It's not that we just go quiet for a reason. This year is incredible with the amount of full-time sides, big clubs, as I've already mentioned. And, I think we need to embrace that. We're in a great place. And, we will get there with everyone in it together. And it will make it all the more exciting when we get into these games as we try and move forward.
Cheers, Spencer. I wish you not be too busy over the next couple of weeks. Actually, I do wish you're busy. That means you've got people coming in.
Thanks, Mike.
And we'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, mate.